Round number 2 for some straight cash money brings us to the Irish Hills of Michigan at Michigan International Speedway, a 2-mile D-shaped oval where tonight, or this morning I should say, Cup cars will tear it up at the 2-mile Michigan International Speedway, the home of the classic Chevy versus Ford battle, with Toyotas thrown in the mix today for 88 laps for straight cash money. Good morning, everybody. I'm Greg Rentz. Welcome to Michigan International Speedway live on LSRTV for round number 2 of the Straight Cash Money Challenge, is what we've come to call it here on LSRTV. Joining me in the broadcast booth tonight, and as well down the production truck, is Charles Wooten. And Charles, this is going to be one heck of a show tonight. 88 laps in the Cup cars. This could go pretty quickly if we're able to rattle some laps off, but there are a lot of very talented drivers in this field, and they're all looking for some straight cash money.
Yeah, that's what it's all about here. No points, no nothing. It's all about getting the green stuff, the dough, whatever you want to call it. That's what they're here for. And, I've already made my pick for today's race win, and he's sitting at the top of the boards right now. While the fans out there can't see it, they know the name. That's Garrett Maines. Again, I look to see him just do good in any race that he competes in. So that's my pick. He's going to be walking away $50 richer unless something happens to him. I think if he finishes this race, it'll be in first place.
Well, he won last week at Talladega, and you all know, longtime viewers of LSRTV will know, Garrett Maines has a tendency to be up at the front every single time he competes. But there are quite a few drivers here that will also have something to say about that, including Justin Michael, who had a great run at Talladega last week in the number 87 car. Pete Polini, who played the patience game in the 77, another name very familiar to longtime LSRTV viewers. He's second in practice right now. Andrew Navarro finished third in that Talladega race, was hooked up with Maines at the end of that race. Curtis Critchley is here. Brad Wilson, Ed Osborne, Derek Fulton, Hunter Parsons had a great run at Talladega. Plus, we have a couple new drivers in the mix that we didn't have last week. Chris Cinnamon among them. So we've got quite the field of drivers here tonight, or this morning, I should say. We're so used to saying tonight because this is one of the earlier broadcasts we've ever done here on LSR TV. But 88 laps at Michigan, what are you expecting out of this race?
88 laps, that was the big thing when I saw this. Again, originally we thought it was trucks, but it is going to be Cup cars. But 88 laps, keep in mind, for anyone that follows LSR TV, one of our big staple series is the Northwest Cup and the Northwest Truck Series, and of course now the Tour that we'll be doing later on tonight. But those run 100 plus laps, usually run 100, sometimes a little more, just depends. But this year it was 100 laps, so we're 18 laps shy of what that took. That took us about 2 hours and I believe 8 minutes to run that, so it's going to be an under a 2-hour race. Assuming we don't have a whole lot of cautions, I don't think we'll have too many, but it'll be interesting. And another side point off that, Greg, I just want to point out that you have Garrett Maines, Pete Polini, Justin Michael, Kieran Church, Curtis Critchley, and Andrew Navarro. Your top 6 drivers, all part of Phantom Racing. Well, technically, Maines isn't part of that team, but he is over there with them. That is all one group, and they're in the top 6 right now.
So this is going to be a wild night here at Michigan for sure. And for reference, for those of you wondering, the Cup race for the Northwest Cup Series that was a few weeks ago here at Michigan, 100 laps, was only 2 cautions in that race. Cole Raz picked up the win in that one. Who is going to punch their ticket this time to Gatorade Victory Lane here at Michigan International Speedway as qualifying gets set to get underway here? Practice has concluded. 10-minute qualifying session is now underway. You have 2 qualifying laps as the number 28 hits the track of William H. Scott Jr. Now, Charles, something a little different for those who may have watched last week. A lot of drivers with different numbers this week. here in this race than they had last week. The reason for that, this is not an actual league. This is just, hey, we're going to throw up the race and whoever enters, and they go for straight cash money, which is what the series is being called, but it's not an actual series. It's just a mini series, if you will, of just 5 very high paying races. $50 to the winner of tonight's race, 40 for second, 30 for third, 20 for fourth, 10 for fifth, $150 on the line for this race.
When you think about this series and you think about sanctioned events or series in racing like NASCAR, World of Outlaws, stuff like that, what this is here, Greg, this is like Street Outlaws. It is completely just for money. That's all this for. These guys meet up and they race. It's in hosted, so that's my comparison for anyone out there kind of wondering what leagues are and this and that in iRacing. This would be the equivalent of just Street Outlaws meeting up and running for money.
And we got, this is race number 2 of the 5 that are scheduled here tonight. Again, we were under the impression, as you mentioned earlier today, Charles, that it was going to be a truck race. However, it was changed to a cup race, and the next race will be a truck race. The next 2 races will be a truck race. One of those coming up at Daytona. Then we head to something quite fun. We're going to head to the brand new iRacing Super Speedway here with this series as well. We did an open wheel broadcast for that. That was a lot of fun. Catch that in the archives if you can, and you're not going to want to miss that one. Set your reminders now for when this series heads to the iRacing Super Speedway. 10 drivers have taken the time thus far. They're led by Ronald White in the number 17, who last week at Talladega had a good car but caught up in an accident early and had to take the fast repair and charge his way back to the front. He's been dropped off the top by Navarro. But Charles noticed in the racers chat room earlier today that Navarro was having some internet connection issues, so he might be having some problems throughout the course of the day. We'll have to keep our eye on the number 2 of Navarro as you watch the 38 on ticker, 8 on screen, Michael Anthony turn laps.
Yeah, and those connection issues, you really have to be careful with them. You may be fine during qualifying. We didn't see too many blinking issues or any connection issues for that matter. But when you get in a group of cars and they have to, load in where everybody else is, that's when those ugly little issues can rear their ugly head up. So we'll definitely be watching for those. And I'm very surprised as Brian Chu out on the track right now, the number 16. Drivers are taking their sweet time to go out on the track. There are a few out now, but there's still a lot that haven't come out to qualify. They do have 6.5 minutes to do so, and I'm wondering, Greg, if they're taking their time, getting a last-minute drink, maybe a bite to eat, depending on where they're at in the country or in the world, depending on what time it is it's overcast, so the sun isn't going to be coming out anytime soon, so the track's going to stay about the same temperature right now, sitting at 73 degrees, so I don't see that changing too terribly much with this overcast skies.
And that's a very, very cold track, Charles. 73 degrees. You might think when you hear 73 degrees in ambient temperature, you're like, oh, it's going to be not a bad day. But 73 degrees on track, that is ice cold for these cars. So there's a ton of grip in this racetrack right now as Brian Chu goes to 14th on the board with a 38.596. Well over 30 drivers in the field, almost 40 in the field to take the green flag, and there's a lot of talent in this field as well, Charles. Right now 23 drivers, make it 24, have taken time as we continue to try to click laps away. But wow, this is going to be a long race. When we say that, just because it's going to be a lot of action, but this is going to whiz by if this thing can stay green.
Yeah, and I'm watching Jason Maines, a driver that we know is fast. I'm not sure what was with the slow lap there, but trying to get up and go.
He's just now coming out of pit road. This is his warm lap.
He was, he was kind of wiggling the car back and forth. Maybe he's having some kind of steering issue there. He was wiggling the car back and forth, trying to possibly, figure out what was going wrong before he hit the gas. He obviously didn't want to pull a Juan Pablo Montoya there and, feel a vibration and then run it into the wall, because Greg, you know as well as I do, you only get 2 laps, and if you start lap 1 and wreck, then you only have that next lap to go, so you got to be very careful in qualifying.
Yeah, you got to be very careful with this qualifying session. Only 2 laps, and if you tap the wall, if you so much as scuff the wall, it does not count your lap. So you got to be very careful here on qualifying. Jason, of course, the father of Garrett, who is sitting on the pole right now, number 29. We're used to seeing him as number 1 or occasionally number 2. Jason Maines, number 32 here tonight. We're used to seeing him as number 2 as he comes around to take the white flag, and he's going to be near the back of the field here in this one as he falls in 26th at a 38.981. So Maines definitely going to be looking for a pickup on lap number 2, trying to track down not just his son, but everyone else between them.
Yeah, right now the Maine's kind of the bookcase holders for this field. You got one at the front and one at the back. So he'll definitely look to pick up here on that second lap for Elliott Sadler Esports. And we'll see a few other drivers out on track. Another one I want to keep a close eye on is right there, Derek Fulton. In the number 11 is what he scored as, number 7 on the car for Phantom Graphics. We'll see how he does. The car looks good. Hopefully it will perform good as well as Derek out on track right now. But again, a lot of cars here. Over 30 drivers have made their way in. So far, they have not all qualified. So, Greg, is this a track where maybe you don't qualify, start towards the back, and work your way to the front?
Well, normally, you know me, with my driving style, I like to start near the back. But, man, at this track, I don't know. Because if you lose the draft, which is something you run a risk of by not qualifying, that puts you behind the 8 ball in a big way here in this one. Fulton goes 21st on his first lap, 38.548. There are 39 drivers entered into this race here this morning, Charles. So 39 cars. If you lose touch with the draft, it can take you a long time to get back up there. And even if you qualify near the back, you've got almost 40 cars to pass. So it could be a long time, especially with this aero package and how difficult it is to pass with this cut package here on these cars. Draft, very, very important. So I'm not sure if I would forego qualifying here tonight if I could. We'll see where Fulton winds up. He jumps to 11, 38.452 in a tie with John Ernest in the 75. Remember, ties in iRacing qualifying are broke by who turned the lap first, which was Ernest, as we watch Zach Adams in the 71. He was another driver, Charles, in this car who had a pretty good race at Talladega. Unfortunately, didn't have the result he wanted. But looking for a big bounce back here tonight. 29th on the board for his first lap, coming down below the apron. That is legal here at Michigan. We'll see where he crosses the stripe. And he jumps to 23rd, so not the qualifying speed he wanted in the number 71. 31 cars have taken time. We still have a few left to go. Jeff Snyder in the 999 on track right now, coming to take the green flag. There he is, getting it ready to begin his first of 2 qualifying laps, and there's only a minute left in qualifying. He's only going to get 1 lap. He's not going to have enough time to come around 2 more times.
Yeah, and that of course means and then you see Stephen Gregory. You can't see him on the ticker because of course we only show the top 28. He is not going to be racing, so Stephen Gregory is not going to be racing here tonight. Taylor Peacock, the guy putting all this on, he has not qualified yet. Travis Paul has not. Jeff Snyder out on track. Brian Jay is not on the track at the moment. Rhett Tucker, surprised to not see him qualifying, and Michael Anthony has not qualified either. So several drivers have not qualified, as Jeff Snyder's going to put in a 38.811, and that'll put him in 30th spot. He definitely wants to pick up lap number 2.
And unfortunately, he's not going to be able to because they're going to run out of time here in 15 seconds, and he's coming off turn number 2. He's not going to have enough time to make it around to the track, so he's going to have to sit on that 38.811 for his qualifying time, as time is going to expire now. Checker flag is out. And as you see right there, Snyder's lap invalidated. 32 cars will take the green flag for this one, or 32 cars qualified for this one. 39 drivers in the session. Of course, we know Stephen Gregory is going to drop out, which means Charles, we got to get right into the grid because it's going to take us a while to get through 38 drivers. So here is your ComServe Wireless starting lineup. We'll take them 10 at a time, and we've got the Talladega winner Garrett Maines on the pole in the number 29 with Justin Michael to his outside. Andrew Navarro in the number 2 will roll off in third position with Alan Dobbs in fourth. Ronald White, good run at Talladega, looking for a bounce back after getting caught up in an accident, will be fifth with Christian Stanford sixth. Stanford was up in the mix at the end after saving his fast repair for late in the race. Hunter Parsons, a dirt driver, great run at Dega last week, starts seventh with Pete Polini in eighth. Joseph Allen and John Ernest round out the top 10.
And starting your second group of 5 here, going to be Derek Fulton in that 11 machine on the scoring 7 on the car, along with Justin Winters in the 52. And if that's the same Justin Winters, we know him from dirt racing, so it'll be interesting to see how he stacks up here in the asphalt side of things. Row 7 is going to be the 54 of Rusty Modesty and the 91 of Rob Green. Row 8, Michael Adamson, I believe a former driver with Phantom. Not sure if he's still on the team or not in that 46 machine. And 32 of Jason Maines. I look to see him moving through this field as well. Row 9, Curtis Critchley in the 27. And the name I'm going to like calling here tonight, the 24 of Chris Seddeman in that row 9 on the outside. And row 10, your top 20 drivers is going to be the 82 of Clint Mata and the 18 of Gary J. Again, I will get the pronunciation on that one for us here as soon as I can on row 10.
Another driver familiar to longtime LSRTV viewers. How about Kieran Church making an appearance in the number 20 with Ryan Twinham to his outside in the 89, 22nd. Zach Adams, talked about him having a good run at Dega. Unfortunately, didn't get the result he wanted. He starts with Brian Chu, who was there at the end last week as well. Ed Osborne in number 21 rounds out the top 25. John Elliott will roll off 26th. Darren Hallman had a kind of a disappointing run at Talladega last week, looking to bounce back tonight with J.R. Miller to his outside. Brad Wilson and Jeff Snyder round out the top 30. Just 8 drivers left to go as the field begins to roll.
Yeah, in the row 16 going to be William Scott Jr. in the 28 and Dale Adamson in the 47. In row 17 going to be Rhett Tucker. Definitely not surprised he didn't qualify. Let's see him move through this field. Michael A. Anthony in the 38. In row 18 is going to be Taylor Peacock and Brian. We're going to call him Brian J. here. Again, we'll get those 2 of them here. We're going to get the pronunciation on that one for sure, so we don't butcher it too bad. And at row 19 going to be Travis Paul. And we know the 97 is not racing with us, and that is it. No row 20. 19 rows of drivers, 39. Definitely a full field of cars here for a little bit of cash on the line.
Kevin Hallman was scheduled to start 39th, did not make the grid. That's why that you do not see him on the racetrack. But here we go. Straight cash money up for grabs here. $50 to the winner. 40 for second, 30 for third. No points, just money on the line. Field in the hands of the Terminator, Garrett Maines, coming around through the Geico restart zone. Green flag is in the air, and it's a Sunday morning. We're kicking the asphalt here on LSRTV.
All right, we are back, ladies and gentlemen, and some technical difficulties on Greg's end. I'm sure we'll see him back here in just a moment. As a little bit of a connection issue on his end, but right now Garrett Maines, as no surprise, he is out front, but a 3-wide battle for second place right now. That is Dobbs, White, and Navarro battling a 3-wide, and a little bit of shot there in the shorts from Navarro. That is to the 22 of Dobbs, as he's going to go to the bottom side again. We expect to see a few cautions. I don't think we'll see too many here today, as these guys know what they're doing, and hopefully we get Greg back here momentarily. But Garrett Maines out front. This is I won't say a long race. Anyone that's been on iRacing knows you can run a lot longer here, as we usually cover about 100 to 100 plus here. 88 not going to be too terribly long, but Garrett Maines out front. Dobbs trying to do something here. That is Alan Dobbs in the 22 machine. Behind them, the 17 of Ronald White. And again, drivers to keep an eye on. We're watching this. You got to keep an eye on Rhett Tucker, who's back in the back right now. Taylor Peacock, keep an eye on him as well. And there's a few others that I want to keep an eye on. Jason Maines, who's a little mired back in the field right now. So we'll definitely be keeping an eye on these drivers. But still good battles going on. 2 and 3 wide up here in the top 10. And getting reports that the power cord came unplugged on the PC of Greg Grint, so he will be back momentarily. But you got the battle for the lead is on right now. It is Alan Hobbs and Garrett Maines. Maines maybe losing the lead here. We'll keep an eye on that. That is the battle to watch right now. As again, looks like it. Yes, Maines not holding on to the lead. He's got it right now, but the question is how much longer can he hold on to it? He hangs on to it for the moment, but right now Dobbs definitely looking to make something happen. But you know, these drivers back in the back behind them is taking a quick look through the rear view on board with Hobbs, as the caution is going to come out for the first time, and it looks like, yes it is, ow, a hard lick there. It's going to be the 88 of Dell Adamson bringing out caution number 1 as we go back and take a look and see what happened on the swag replay. And looking here, that is the 88 and the 7 that he's around of Brian J. So we'll see exactly what happened. The 7 scrapes the wall, comes down, clips the 88 of Adele Adamson, and Adamson nowhere to go in that incident, and just smacks the inside and outside wall both. And that will bring out your caution number 1 here, as Garrett Maines still your race leader. We'll see who, if anybody, is coming down at pit road. Again, these guys do have 50% fuel. Keep that in mind. So they cannot go the full distance on a fuel that they normally could. So they will have to come down for fuel at some point. This could be a chance. Come down, get fuel and tires. Again, we apologize for some technical issues. Greg's power supply, or power cord coming unplugged. He will be back momentarily, just having to boot up. That would explain why during the first part there he was having some issues. So you gotta have power to the PC if you want it to work. And checking in on chat real fast is good morning to everybody out there. It is a early morning here in Texas, 11 a.m. Again, I did not sleep through, so we are here tonight. Everybody on pit road. No surprise there. The 87 almost pulling too far in his pit stall, and it is gas only. No tires for these guys. They are not going to get tires again. They only have 3 sets of tires anyway, so these guys are opting to fuel only 5-second stops so that they do not have to go ahead and use those tires in advance. And we apologize if you heard that LSRTV phone ringing. It rings off the hook nonstop around here, so we do apologize for that. But Greg getting situated, he'll be back with us here momentarily. But the 89 did not come down the pit road. That is Ryan Twinham. He did not come down pit road in that 89 machine, so he will be your race leader. So we'll have to just kind of wait and see how that plays out for him with not coming down pit road. Well, going to be, again, an interesting call there. The rest of the field did come down. Nobody took tires. So as far as tires go, they are on the same set amount of tires. Although Garrett Means and the rest of the field do say their stint is 0. Nobody took tires, so they are on the same tires as far as that goes. But fuel, Garrett Main's going to have just a few more gallons, along with Alan Dobbs, Andrew Navarro, Justin Michael, and just about everybody else behind them. Gonna have a full tank of fuel, or as full as you can get it for 50% anyway. But the lights are off on the pace car, so we will go racing this next time by. And again, quick shout out here. I know we got Josh in chat, Aunt Kathy out there, Jason Deere. We got Steven out there, Caleb Smith out there. So a lot of our usuals out there. If you're in chat, let us know. What your thoughts are. Who's going to win this race? Who are you here rooting on? Are you just here for some great racing, as always, on LSRTV? Again, lights are off on lap number 10. We had our first caution on lap number 7 of 88, and we're already coming up on 75 to go here shortly. We do have Greg back. Greg, it's good to have you back.
To be back right when the race began. Lost all power here on my monitor, so I had to get it going once again, and lost the tower power too. So yeah, we had some stuff right at the green flag, but we're back here on lap number 10. Looks like we have a new leader up front. I have no clue what has happened in the last 10 laps, but that's all for not now. As we go green, someone having connection issues right at the start. That's the number 89 of Twinham having them on the start there.
Yeah, to quickly catch up. The 88 of Dell Adamson had a little contact there with the wall. He had contact with a 7 who had contact with the wall first, and just caused a little wreck there. And the 89, I'm very surprised by this, that he is falling back, and we're already going to be piling him up once again, and a caution comes out. But, and he just gets nailed again. That is Justin Michaels. We'll take a look at the replay real quick, but the 89 did not come down pit road. Everybody else did. However, nobody took tires, so I'm really surprised he fell back like he did just now. But regardless of that, it's all going to be for not, like you said, now, as we have our second caution right there, just the 50 roughing up the 87 a little bit.
And we saw this happen at Talladega in this series last week. Saw them get going, and there's the hard hit there that the 87 of Michael took there at the end. Who was that took it? It's a red and yellow car. Can't catch a number on that. I'm still trying to get everything going
that
up.
It's Joseph Allen, yeah, in the 23.
Yeah.
As we go on board.
He had absolutely nowhere to go, I don't think, because you're going to see him come through the field. There you see the smoke. He's going low, goes low, and all of a sudden right there's a black and orange car in his way.
Yeah, that may not sit well with the 87 there. We'll take one more look at that here, and take a look with the 23 again from a different view. And you see the 23 right here. There's the 7 that was part of the original caution. And the 23 almost looks like he doesn't back down at all. He just keeps going full throttle and just hammers the 87. So definitely, if you're 87, you got to be wondering, why did he not slow down? But regardless of that, you know, we have some drivers that came down, some drivers that didn't, but they only have 3 sets of tires, Greg, just like last week. So a lot of drivers opting not to take those tires early in this race.
And we saw that come into play big time last week at Talladega. You can catch that broadcast again in the archives here on LSRTV from last Sunday morning. Myself and Justin Prince were on the call for that one, and that was quite the race. We had a lot of fun with that one. Garrett Maines picking up the win tonight, up near the front once again here, but the pit strategy played a huge role in that one, Charles. So definitely wondering how it's going to affect it this one, especially with 2 cautions here in the early going. And typically Michigan, we don't expect a whole lot of cautions here, but we also typically don't have 37 cars in the field here like we do tonight. It's going to definitely be something we got to keep an eye on if these guys can settle things down, or if it will continue like this under our second caution already. And remember, it's a sprint race, just 88 laps here in this one, 13 complete at the line this time under caution for a majority of them. Maines leading the way, Andrew Navarro in second. Remember, they got hooked up at the end of the Talladega race, and it looked like they were going to settle it between them, but Navarro, who was the pusher in that relationship, blew a motor at the end of the race, fell to third as someone was able to get by at the very last second, and that's big because that's an extra $40 or $10 to the second position over the third position. $50 to the race winner tonight. 40 for second, 30 for third, 20 for fourth, 10 for fifth, $150 on the line here tonight. No points, no nothing, just straight cash money.
Yeah, and you know, you got to be asking yourself right now, if you're these drivers, you have the 89 right now of Ryan Twinem that's sitting in 4th place. He was your race leader. He was mired well back in the field. His car just not quite as fast right now. He opts to stay out, and you know, if you're up at the front right now, that's a scary place. If you're sitting there with those connection issues he's having, you really got to be wondering if these guys are going to try to get by him as quickly as they can.
Yeah, tire management is going to be crucial here in this one. A lot of guys, remember, you said may have done fuel-only pit stops here in this one, as that was before I was back in. I was just trying to figure out what was going on, and that time as I was getting everything going back on. But Garrett Maines leads, Navarro second, Twinem in that 89 car in third, and Evan Dobbs in fourth. And, connection issues now again on the 89. We saw that on the last restart as well. Is set to come back into the Geico restart zone. 88 laps here in this one. Working lap 15 when we take the green flag, and Garrett Maines leads them off towards turn number 1.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Again, cautions, possibly breeding cautions, as that's what it's been so far. Garrett Maines out front, though. Again, you've got to watch the 89 with those connection issues on the outside. Navarro and Dobbs, as they're going to kind of freight train by the 29. Again, you talked about it earlier in the pre-show, is draft. You know, it's not considered a super speedway like you might think, like the iRacing Super Speedway or Daytona or Talladega, but there is draft here, and it is very much used.
And it is a very key part of getting around this racetrack nowadays here at Michigan. Look at Garrett Maines trying to decide who he's going with here. Right now he's linked up with Dobbs, but will he stay with him? Yes, he will, as Dobbs is able to get a nice run through the tri-oval there into turn number 1. But look at Navarro, big run on the outside, bringing Hunter Parsons with him.
Yeah,
Parsons, another driver with a dirt background. Sorry, Charles.
That's going to be a good, interesting race to see who works with who. Again, you know, Maines, Navarro, are gonna, try to somewhat work together. Derek Fulton, I told you to watch him in that 7 machine right there. He is working his way through this field in 9th place right now. But again, the battle for the lead is the one that we're keeping a very close eye on. Is that 22 of Dobbs? He's been giving Garrett Maines a run for his money, and literally the run for $50 all race long, and he's going to edge him out on the backstretch. But it's really what matters is, can you edge out the leader on the front stretch coming to the line?
And that's going to be on lap 88. That's the money lap here in this one. Maines leading. Dobbs with a run on the outside. There's Navarro and Parsons battling it out for 3rd and 4th. Then you're going to find the 54 of Modesty trying to make his way up through the field quietly in the 54. He's up in the 5th now in that black and white car with the silver number right there on board. There he is. He's not number 54 on screen. We apologize for the confusion on that. What happens is when you have a race like this and so many drivers have the same number, it automatically just goes to whoever was the first one into the session. And then from then on, it's just, hey, whatever number's available when that driver comes in. So the car will still say that number, but he's being scored as a different number. It's happened quite a few times here in the past and continues. And unfortunately, it's just the nature of the beast here when it comes to these hosted room races as opposed to actual league sessions. Because remember, this is not an actual league. This is just a 5-race mini series put on by the same group, putting up some cash money, no points, no drama, no nothing. Just go out and try to win $50 here in this one. Open to anybody who can get themselves into the room by the time the green flag falls. And that's why you see drivers from all sorts of different backgrounds in this race.
Yeah, there are all sorts of drivers. And, I'd venture to guess if you're looking at that 0 there, which is, I believe that's Hunter Parsons. I'm not sure.
Yes, that's Hunter Parsons.
Yeah, I would be willing to guess that he has a little bit of dirt in his racing there with a 0P. You usually don't see drivers running a letter on their car unless they're a fan of dirt or have dirt raced in their life, sometime in their life. That is typically when you see a letter after there. He could just like putting the P after there. You never know, but that would be my guess as to why he opted to go with the letter as well as the number. But Garrett Maines, again, I still think he has a good shot here. He has definitely got Alan Dobbs just banging his doors down right now, going side by side with him.
Contact! And Parsons with the save, and you are right, Charles. He does have a dirt racing background, and it came in play big. There's another driver that has problems, and the caution comes out. And I don't think it was for either of those. I think this happened deep in the field because there are some drivers who were near the back having discussions and team communications here. As we take a look at the swag replay,
it's a 91 of Rob Green.
This was near the back. This is outside the 30th position. The smoke right there. I think this is a bottleneck because of what happened there with Parsons, and it ultimately led to this.
Yeah, so you can clearly see the 99. We'll take one more look at this here from the drone camera, and you'll see if you're watching the 91 and the 99 are the two that make contact, and the 99, you can see smoke right there, people checking up, trying to avoid what's going on up front, and right there the 99's checking up big time, and the 91 just he just doesn't check up as much, and right into the left quarter panel.
A tough break there, and I'm pretty sure that's just the result of the initial contact between Parsons and I believe it was Modesty that got together. Then we saw a second batch of contact between the 52 of Justin Winters and I believe Sanford was the other car that was involved in that. As everyone comes down pit road here, Charles, so we're going to see another batch of pit stops here. And the question is, now we're a quarter of the way into this race, do we see anyone take tires?
Yeah, good question. And getting reports, did not know this myself. We thought it was just a 5 race. There is points on the points awarded and money on the line for a champion as well. Again, we'll have to see if we can be given these points at some time here in the future before the series is over. But again, unannounced to me as well. So just being told that there are a point system and there's money on the line for that as well. But it looks like once again these guys opting to come down 5 and 6 second stops, only fuel, no tires, all around for everybody that came down pit road. Unless you're somewhere in the back around 15th or so, some of these guys taking tires.
So going to be a long night for some of these guys if they get schmiered in the back early. And again, we apologize that there are points on the line, and that's just a product of probably we were told that, but we just have so many things going on here. We had the technical difficulties on my end at the very start of the race. I know Charles got caught up in something this morning, wasn't sure he would be able to be there, and just had so much going on this morning that we probably just flat out forgot that there is a point system here for this one. So we apologize for that one. As now the 89 going to come down pit road, and this is big, Charles, because remember, he's the one that stayed out on that first batch of pit stops, and he's going to sacrifice all that track position now to start at the back. But I think right now that's a smart call by Twin Am.
Yeah, I think it is too. As he's going to pull down, and we'll see if he takes tires and fuel. And yes, he's going to take 4 tires and fuel. I would imagine 4 anyway. I can't see why you would take 2, especially when you hadn't been down. And he does. He takes 4 tires and fuel, as that will again give the lead for sure back to Garrett Maines. This time he's going to have Navarro, Fulton, Critchley, Mata going to be your top 5. Alan Dobbs mired back in 6th place, but I have the feeling he'll be back up towards the front battling for the lead here shortly. But again, now if you're Garrett Maines, he knows these drivers. He knows Navarro, Fulton, Critchley. He knows who these drivers are. He's raced around them quite a bit, but he hasn't raced them on this track with this car today until now. So do you change up your strategy, maybe how you start, when you take off, when you fire? Do you change those things up depending on who's around you? Because like I said, they know each other, so you're going to have to do something to throw a little wrench in it that they may not expect.
Well, right now, I wonder if Andrew Navarro's just might be playing a little bit of mind games there with Garrett Maines. We've seen them do battles several times here on LSRTV in various cars. Fun to see him here in the Cup cars, battling it out for the lead once again. But yeah, to answer your question, I think he's going to, at least for this first batch of race here on this restart, I think he's just going to do nothing out of the ordinary for him. He knows exactly what he can and can't do around the guys like Navarro, Fulton, Critchley, Pete Polini's back there as well. Those two have had some battles over the summer here on LSRTV, so I think he's just going to take it easy here. Nothing out of the ordinary for Garrett Maines standards, and just go out and just race with these guys. Caution out right away here in this one. Hunter Parsons keying up on team communication, so something may have happened to the 0P of Parsons, and we got a big wreck up there on the exit of turn number 2. And several drivers involved in this one. Let's take a look at the swag replay, see what happened here right on the restart, as you're watching the 99 of Hallman, who we saw caught up in this, getting a big run around. You saw him 4 wide there going off into turn number 1, and yeah, it's breaking out in front of there.
There's where it originated, so we'll take a look and check out these guys.
Who is that was flying through the air there?
I'm not sure that Taylor Peacock involved in this, and right there you see the 16, did not get going, and the Interstate Batteries Toyota, that he didn't get going, and it caused a little bit of a bottleneck behind him. And then you're watching this, you see some smoke right there, and that, not sure who that is. That is the 18.
There goes Twin Ham for a ride. We just talked about Twin Ham. He went for a ride up there in turn number 2. Let's see if we can pick up this 18 car, because I believe he may have been caught up in the start of this.
Yeah, and there was a lot. They're 4 wide in front of him. He's trying to figure out where he wants to go. He goes below the apron, comes up, tags the 6, and that's where it all starts.
Right there, yep. That's the 54 on ticker of Rusty Modesty, and that's what started the whole thing. As you see them all pile in behind him there, that's Gary that is the number 18 of Gary Jazorski.
Yeah, Dzorsky, and maybe just a little bit of culprit. He did go below the yellow line, and, there is no rule on iRacing about the yellow line. However, a lot of leagues will enforce it, but technically not being a league, we don't know what the ruling is on that yellow line. They do have race control in the race, though, so we'll just have to wait and see if we hear anything from that, what becomes of it. But he went below the yellow line a little bit, which in racing in real life is a no-no. You don't do that. The white line, as you can see right here, like you pointed out earlier, Greg, is fine, but the yellow line, you cannot go below it in real life. There's no rule in iRacing on it. iRacing doesn't penalize you, but the admin of the race very well could, as he went below that yellow line and on the ascent to come back up, collected the 54 with him.
And with everyone being spaced so together because it was on a restart, you had basically the big one here that we know from Talladega and Daytona. But with this aero package and how close together these guys are, we're beginning to see the big one more and more often here at these tracks like Michigan Auto Club, even the mile and a halves like Las Vegas, Atlanta, Texas. We're starting to see more bigger wrecks because of just the close quarter racing with this aero package. So I'm not at all surprised that we saw something like that happen, as our drivers are voicing their displeasure with the amount of cautions here early in this one. Already our 4th caution here of this race, Charles. So drivers not too happy with the way this race is unfolded here for the first quarter.
Yeah, you look at a lot of these drivers, like Maines, Fulton, Navarro, and any of these others. Any driver in this race, they go to league-style races, which, yes, this is not technically listed under leagues, but essentially that's what it is. And they come to these races to get cleaner racing, because unfortunately the official races on iRacing are notorious for being caution fest, because anybody and everybody that is of that rank, or license can get in there and race. So, leagues and hosted are typically the cleaner version, or cleaner atmosphere as far as cautions go, but not necessarily the way this one's going here with, like you said, 4 cautions and 28 laps. I haven't done the math on it, but I would put that about 3 to 4 laps under caution. So the majority of this race probably has been under caution so far.
And this is something that these drivers are hoping goes by the wayside here. So now we didn't really get to see what Maines had up his sleeve on that last restart, surrounded by drivers that he's used to racing with here. So what are we going to see this time out of the number 29 on the restart? He's got his drafting partner from Talladega behind him, Andrew Navarro, going to get up right on the back bumper. We're going to take the green flag back underway here once again, as the Virginia boy leads them down. A couple of Canadian drivers right there alongside them. Derek Fulton and Curtis Critchley up there as well. Navarro from Florida trying to get a run up there. Navarro going to clear Fulton, and Critchley falls in line behind. Again, these are all names that you're familiar with if you've been watching us here on LSRTV, as Navarro gets a nice run on the outside of Garrett Maines. So Navarro trying to get up there and get the lead away from Maines, but he's going to fall back in line. Critchley back there behind him. Then you find Justin Michael making a charge back up. Remember, he had to take the fast repair after the incident early in this one. Brought out our 2nd caution, so he's fought his way back up to 3rd. Each driver does have a fast repair. Michael definitely very thankful for that as they go off in the turn 1. Maines leading, but Navarro trying to find a way around him.
Yeah, that's the key. You only have one fast repair, so someone like Michael has already used that, so he's got to be very, very careful. And don't do anything crazy out there. Not that he did anything crazy before, just caught up in an incident, but you've got to make sure you don't do anything crazy on the track, and you've got to be spot on. If something happens in front of you, you got to be able to check up and avoid it as quickly as you can, and that is always or not always easy to do. Sometimes it's easier said than done. But Dobbs, I said he would come from 5th or 6th to try to get this lead again. He's doing it right now in that 22 machine, and he's got a strong, and I mean really strong car here on the outside, as right now he is passing Garrett Maines, but Garrett Maines has the stronger entry, whereas Dobbs has the stronger exit.
And Dobbs has a very, very strong car on the outside, which I think is the key right now, because we know where the cars are stronger on corner exit is the outside. And coming down to the line, if this comes down to lap 88 and it's in that position, I like it when the guy's on the outside. I think Dobbs would be in the ideal position in this situation right now. The question is, though, here, Charles, what's Garrett Maines going to do, knowing that he's going to school now on Dobbs, learning how to defend a run from him, as another driver comes up to say hello here in this one. This is Rhett Tucker, number 37 on ticker, but 99 on screen. We mentioned we were surprised he didn't qualify. He has worked his way up to 3rd. So Rhett Tucker coming up and making a entry here in the middle stages of this race.
Yeah, I kind of figured, I mentioned you would see him coming through this field, and it looks like that Malware Bites number 99. Again, I was shocked that he didn't qualify, but nevertheless, he's worked his way to 2nd place, as he's going to get by Garrett Maines. And to be honest, it doesn't mean you see the 22 is kind of pulled away, and the 99 right there. I'm not convinced that both of them have superior cars or faster cars at this point, because if you knew, you saw it too. The 99 really worked with the 22, and he gave him a little bit of boost with that draft, and that allowed the 22 to get pushed ahead of him. So now that he's going to work with the 29 of Maines, we'll probably see these two reel him in, but he's not going to work with him. He's going to take him on the outside.
He's going to try to get around Garrett Maines. Andrew Navarro lurking back there in the 2 with Justin Michael and Hunter Parsons getting back up in the mix as well. Nice run for Parsons. Our associate producer here on LSRTV, Will Duvall, mentioned that he loves racing with Hunter Parsons in that number 0 on dirt. Does a lot of dirt racing in the 0P, as you see the battle continue between Tucker and Maines. But there's Parsons in line right there, the black car with a little bit of pink on the front, getting past by the 28 right now, but a driver with a lot of dirt background in that car right there, the 0. So stepping up into a cup car, that's quite the difference of driving here when you go from dirt racing on pretty much all short tracks here on iRacing to jumping into a cup car at the 2-mile Michigan International Speedway. That's a big swing from driving style.
Yeah, that is totally two different games there. You're playing from going from a dirt car where you turn one direction to go another to running asphalt cup cars, the top tier of NASCAR. So yeah, big difference there, but not slowing him down as they're going to go 3 wide as he squeezes it through the middle, and he's going to push the 28 down, and here he comes. Parsons not playing around in that 0P machine, as he's going to try to get by Navarro here, and he'll take him on the inside. So Parsons got a fast machine as well. That battle for the lead is still side by side.
And that's actually the battle for second, because they're side by side. Alan Dobbs has been able to pull away in the number 22. There he is up front. Alan Dobbs doing a nice job here in the 22, getting up front, pulling away, leading the race, and because of all that jockeying for position, he's able to just run his line. Now is where you're going to start seeing the problems. Well, maybe not, because I was going to say, looks like they're going to fall in line, but it's a moot point now as the caution falls.
Yeah, and this time it's going to be for Ryan Twinham again in the 89 machine. We'll take a quick look at the replay and see. We knew he had connection issues. Did this play a factor? He was sitting here battling with the 24. And again,
he had fought his way back up, because remember, he was on his lid at this point of the racetrack a few laps ago. Oh, the 24 got the wall and came down in front of Twinham. Nowhere for Twinham to go in that one. And oh, he hit the wall a ton there and just came to an immediate stop on the number 89. Let's watch that from the drone cam here and see what happened there, because he went from about spinning at maybe 170 or so miles an hour to a dead stop. That was kind of abrasive there.
Yeah, that is the definition of when a was an immovable object hits a movable object, or vice versa, or something like that. But right there, just hits it. Bam. And just stops dead on the track. And he already had the brakes locked up, but again, these things are going so fast around this track that it doesn't matter how many brakes you have locked up or how hard you're pressing them. 9 out of 10 times, you're not going to stop that car from hitting that inside wall. When you're talking about 180 plus miles an hour, you're going to hit something.
Down pit road, everyone but William Scott Jr. pit road here for this one. And as we close in on halfway of this race, we're about 5 laps from halfway. Charles, what do you expect to see tire wise in this one? We know they already have taken a set of tires, but they only have 1 left. If they were to take them now, they have 2 sets left. What do you think is going to happen here?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. As you see, at least your top 4 drivers are where they're going to take 4 tires and fuel. We maybe have to, if we can get the race control to clarify, or you can clarify, is it 3 sets, including the set that's on the car, or do they have 3 additional sets, not counting what's on the car? If that's the case, they have another set of tires. And if it's 3 sets total, then some of these guys could potentially be out of tires already at the halfway point.
So they have 3 sets of tires on pit road when the race starts. So 4 sets of tires, including the tires that they started on the race. So they will have 1 more set of tires, but I noticed some drivers took fuel only, including Rhett Tucker and Alan Dobbs. So they might still have those 2 tires left, unless they already took 2 sets of tires earlier and they're trying to make that set of tires last. That's what makes this interesting. The different tire management game. And here's another one here, Charles. Just like Talladega last week, I don't think we hit on this. They only can take half a tank of fuel. 50% fuel capacity is the limit for these cars here tonight. So that's why you're seeing them come in and take fuel only a lot, because they got to get as much fuel in the car as they can, because they're only allowed to have half a tank.
Yeah, you got to squeeze in as much as you can. And, knowing now that they have 3 sets plus what's on the car, again, some of these guys have been down 3 times. We know for a fact that during that first 2 cautions, 90% of the drivers did not take tires. So I would be willing to put my money on that a lot of these drivers still have 2 sets of tires left. And some of them 1. So if you manage to come down 3 times down pit road, the first 2 times you took gas only, you've got 2 sets of tires left in there. You've changed them once that we know of. I'm going to take 1 set, if it was me, about halfway through this. So you got 45 laps to go. I would take it on the next stop if you come in around lap 20-ish laps. And I'm going to save that last set of tires for a last caution, because probably 90% chance, Greg, that within the last 10 laps, 12 laps or so, we're probably going to see a caution when these guys start to ramp it up. So I really want to have a set of tires ready to go on that car during that last caution.
I'm with you right there, Charles. I want to save a set of tires for a caution within 10 to 15 laps to go, so I have as much of an advantage tire-wise as I can. And I think that's what the guys up here like Rhett Tucker, Alan Dobbs and company are doing. Garrett Maines took tires on number 29. We know that for a fact. So he, I believe, will only have 1 set of tires left, and we're just prior to halfway. And this one is the green flag falls. Someone has a hard time getting going. I believe that was was the 75 of Ernest, who did not get a good restart on the inside, and he's going to get freight trained there as he's trying to get up to speed. Falls in way in the back there as the field gets themselves going again. William Scott Jr. did not pit under this caution to get the lead, and with the draft package here and some of these guys behind him not taking tires, might help him for a little bit. But look at Garrett Maines, the first driver on new tires. Look at him charge through the field, and the caution falls once again.
Yeah, caution out once again, and it's going to be Taylor Peacock this time in the 81 involved, and he's not the only one, as looks like Clint Motta going to be involved as well. As we take a look at the replay one more time here and take a look and see what happened. And they go three wide, and Ooh.
Contact right there between the 7 and the 16. Fortunately, nowhere for Peacock and Motta to go.
And take a look at a drone view. Watching the 7 who was involved. He was the cause of the very first caution as well. He clipped the wall and came down and hit the 88 of Dell Adamson. Well, we'll see. It looks like that may have been what happened again as he goes 3 wide there. And he was just going up, and it just wasn't clear of the 16.
Right there. Pile up that ensues with Peacock and Motta. Brian Chu gets a piece of it as well, and Brian Chu showed a lot of patience at Talladega last week and was able to climb up through the field to get himself there at the end. So it was a tough one there for Chu to hit the wall here in the middle stages of this race. And now we're going to see the 28 of Scott come down pit road with a couple of drivers deep in the field, and it looks like most of the second half of the field is coming down pit road here. So now we get to see more tire strategy, Charles. A lot of these guys coming down pit road, they've just came down on that last caution, so I think they're just going to be topping off, getting a little extra fuel in the tank here for another green flag run. There's Derek Fulton in the 7 coming down. He's number 11 on your ticker. He slides into his pit box. William Scott rolling away. He took fuel only. Fulton taking fuel only here. So a lot of drivers just taking fuel only on this round of pit stops.
Yeah, no surprise there. These guys are just going to take fuel. Again, I think these drivers have the same mindset. So either we're really, really good announcers and know these drivers, or, well, we're just good announcers, I guess. I don't know. Either way, I think we have it pegged there. These guys are going to save these tires for the end of this race. I think both of us, we do both agree on that. And I think it's the good call to do. You've got to save everything you can for those last 10 laps, because that is when all bets are off. You're just going to go hammer down, and you've got to make every move and every attempt to get to the front. Because, we could go into green, white, checkered territory. Hopefully we don't. But if we do, you want to have the freshest tires possible.
Yeah, you want to have as much left on the tires as you can for that green, white, checkered. Rhett Tucker has climbed up from 33rd starting position to take the lead here. We're going to be halfway, not this time, but next time by, as we begin the lap number 44 now, halfway point of this race. And we said 88 laps was going to go quick, but we weren't anticipating 6 cautions in the first half of the race. I know a lot of the drivers weren't anticipating this either, as this has really thrown a wrench into their strategy, because now they're having to think, okay, what caution do I want to take tires on versus which cautions do I not want to take tires on?
Yeah, they definitely are threw a wrench in there. For that driver that said there's going to be a lot of cautions, they're sitting on a gold mine right now. They planned for this, but again, like you said, there's not going to be many drivers that planned on it. And I don't know how many drivers were here last week, as unfortunately I was unable to be here for that one. But again, somebody that said there's 37 drivers here, we're going to have some cautions. Definitely is the one that planned properly for this race. Again, I didn't plan for it to be like this. It just had kind of, some races are like it, some races aren't. But, I know one thing for sure, Greg, and I think you'll agree with this. When you put money on the line, everybody shows up. I've seen $5 to win, and you'll have a full field.
Yeah, this is not $5 to win. This is $50 to win here in this one. And the top 5 pays out 50, 40, 30, 20, 10 for $150 total. So this is big time here on LSRTV as the green flag falls. As we go green flag, we're halfway in this one. We're going to do an extended kick in the asphalt as we begin the second half. And the fresher tires of Garrett Maines have got himself back to the front, but Alan Dobbs not letting him get away as Andrew Navarro and Curtis Critchley try to hook up with Maines as well on the bottom. Rhett Tucker, who led him to the green flag on that restart, has fallen back into a battle with Rusty Modesty for 5th now as a couple more drivers try to make their way up. Bradley Wilson, and here comes Pete Polini here, Charles. He has been quiet all day long in the 77, much like the race at Talladega last week, but just like its second half of the race, here he comes entering the field.
Yeah, Pete Polini, no slouch. You got to watch out for him anytime he's on the racetrack, and he's doing a good job right now. And who else is doing a good job? Navarro. And I'm about to say something. And Garrett Maines, I'm not sure how old he is. I know he's not as young as Navarro. But right now, you really have the youngsters up front. I know Navarro's in the, I think, 14, 15 range of age. Just barely legal for iRacing. And Garrett Maines, he's probably in the 18s, maybe 19. He's not quite as young.
I believe he's 18.
Still, the young guns here showing these old fellers like Critchley, Dobbs, Rhett Tucker. I'm not sure exactly how old he is. Pete Polini. So the young guns here kind of showing these veterans how it's done right now in 1 and 2.
And it's very impressive to watch him go, especially the likes of Navarro, who had such a good run at Talladega last week. And it was unfortunate that he lost the motor coming to the checker flag because he was priming it up for one last shot at Garrett Maines. And I think we are going to see a much more dramatic finish than what we saw last week at Talladega, as Alan Dobbs to the inside now of Curtis Critchley. Remember, Critchley, we see him quite often here on LSRTV as well. The driver from north of the border, he's picked up a few big wins in super late model competition here on LSRTV in the past. Here he is looking for a big cup win here tonight. Straight cash money on the line as they're going to go 3 wide on Navarro, but Dobbs backs out of it as Polini trying to hook up with them. And right now, I'm going to be honest, Charles. I think Polini's trying to get hooked up here with Curtis Critchley and Andrew Navarro and those guys. I think he wants to get up there and hook up with the guys that he knows what to expect with them. Their teammates, Pete Polini and Curtis Critchley are at least. He wants to get hooked up with them as soon as possible. Look who else has joined the fray. Trying to get up there and help out his son, Garrett Maines. His father, Jason, has made his way up into the top 10.
Yeah, again, these are drivers, him and Rhett Tucker. I told you to watch out for them. They would work their way up to the front, and that's exactly what they're doing. They're out there just working their way through this field slowly but surely. But again, if you remember the story of the tortoise and the hare, the hare may have been faster, but didn't mean he won the race. And of course, everybody knows the late great Dale Earnhardt Sr. And the quotes that around him, I believe it was him that quoted, and don't curse at me if I'm wrong, but I believe he said, "It's not the fastest car that wins, it's the one that refuses to lose." And they're refusing to lose right now, as that's going to be Pete Polini into the outside wall.
And we got a big one here in turn number 4. I think everyone's going to get away relatively clean, as I saw several drivers break loose there after contact, and this started up in the top 5. Let's take a look at the swag replay. You're going to see Jason Maines go to the inside here of Critchley and Dobbs, but watch the 99 and the 27. I think this is where it starts. Right there, you see Critchley just push up the track just a little bit, got the nose in the dirty air. Unfortunately, Rhett Tucker was right there, and the driver that got the worst of it was that number 8 on screen. Believe that was actually 38 on ticker, Michael Anthony. Let's take another look at it. If I recall, that looked like the car that it was, but that started right there. You see the 8 car on the outside there. Believe that's Michael Anthony, who's number 38 on your ticker. Watch here as they go off here into turn number 3. You're going to see the 27 right there. Just gets in that dirty air, and the car just pushes up the track just a little bit. Pete Polini gets the wall, and right there you see the 8 car get the wall and spin down, and everyone does a great job. Who's that sliding through there at the end?
I'm trying to wonder that myself. They slid through there perfectly.
That was beautifully done. And there's a white car with yellow numbers. Didn't catch the number. I believe
that's a 75. We'll go take a look really quickly as pit stops are underway. I want to go on board with this. Watch this move.
Yeah, this is him. Let's go on board with the drift. You see the smoke already starting here, and then he's okay. I'm committed to the high side. Oh, he got hit.
Yeah, he got hit, and then
that's
just
what caused
drifted it right through the wreck. Definitely not how he wanted to go through it, but definitely it was one of those things that just happened. So unfortunate, he did get part of it. He's going to be on pit road. And pit road was busy, but we recap that real quick. You look here right now, Travis Paul did not come down pit road. He is 17 laps on these tires. Everyone else did come down, but once again, Rhett Tucker, Justin Michael, Sanford, all these guys, all the way down to Garrett Maines, the first person that took 4 tires and fuel on there. So everybody else ahead of him, no tires yet again.
Wild. Be a wild restart. Man, I cannot get over how that worked out for Ernest, getting hit in the driver's side door, knocked up into the wall, and then drifting right around the 8 of Anthony. Perfectly. Nice job there by Ernest to get through that.
Yeah, I agree. And, based on where we saw him on the track, had he not got hit, he probably would have been right in the door of the 8 and just clobbered him. But being hit the way he did, it literally shoved him out of the way. Almost like being a bus coming at you and somebody coming up and pushing you out of the way of the bus so you don't get hit. And so, yes, it definitely hurt his car, but in the long run, I think it may have helped him. Like you said, he pancaked the wall and hit the car on the side versus hitting it head on into another car and destroying the engine.
And the good news for him, Charles, he had a fast repair in the bank, so he was able to use under this caution.
Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong. It's been a long time since I've been behind the wheel, but even if you have a fast repair, if you blow the engine, does it repair that as well?
I think I think you can change the settings in the room, because I've had it to where it does and I've had it where it doesn't. So I think it depends on how the room is set up, if I recall, because I've been on both ends of that spectrum.
And of course, regardless if it does or doesn't fix it, if it does blow, if it had hit there and come to an abrupt stop like that, it wouldn't have been like it was for him now. He was able to limp it back to pit road. Had he blown the engine and come to an abrupt stop, he would have had to tow. And under caution, it's roughly about a 3-minute tow. So he would have gone multiple laps down. So he really did get the better end of the deal, getting hit and then just hitting the wall.
Yeah, he caught a break for sure, but we're getting set to go back to the green flag. Travis Paulch was the outside here for this one, as Rhett Tucker going to lead on the inside. And oh boy, we are having some happen here, as Sanford in the number 50 has to go down to the bottom to try to get around Paul. Sanford took fuel only, along with some of these other guys up front. So again, some drivers take tires as we're getting set for the closing stages of this one. And they are fanned out 3 wide. And this is what you talked about earlier, Charles. This is where we're going to see the intensity really begin to ramp up, as Justin Michael is trying to get the lead away from Navarro. On the outside, here comes Garrett Maines, hooked up again with Navarro. Got Curtis Critchley with him. These 3 drivers, they always seem to find each other here on the racetrack.
Yeah, remember Garrett Maines, he's the first driver as he takes it 3 wide. He's the first driver in that last caution that took 4 tires. So he goes from 7th or 8th to 1st in 1 lap. That shows you how good fresh tires are.
But here's my question. Did he use his last set of tires? I think that was his 3rd batch of tires. So Garrett Maines might be out of tires, where some of these other guys here deeper in the field, they might have another set of tires remaining. So if this thing stays green the rest of the way, Maines might be in good shape. But
I can confirm, though, that he's been down pit road 4 times. The first 2 times he came down pit road, he did not take tires. So he's taken tires at minimum on 2. And I don't know if he did on that 3rd one, but I do believe he did. He may still have 2 sets of tires left.
If he still has a set of tires, and he's in very good shape, as he's battling out with Justin Michael right now, a battle that we saw last week at Talladega. Alan Dobbs up there in the mix, though, now in the 22. Got up on the back bumper of Michael there and had to kind of chase it up the hill a little bit. Now Dobbs is thinking 3 wide, as he's going to go with Maines here through the tri-oval. Navarro and Critchley lurking back there. Maines going to lead this lap, but Alan Dobbs hooked up with Garrett Maines. We know how strong that 22 of Dobbs is. He got up and led for a while. He wants to lead back here in the closing stages. We're working lap number 60. Dobbs with the crossover to the inside of Maines. Michael lurking there as well. Dobbs has no help here, though, and they're going to be able to freight train him on the outside, I believe.
Yeah, and that's a scary thought. If I'm Garrett Maines watching the 22 right now, he's doing a good job. He hasn't caused any incident yet, but you saw how much he was weaving back and forth, riding his back bumper. He was pushing him very well, and ooh, that's what you're afraid of right there. Little moves like that, when you're drafting and you make sudden stuff like that, you really have to be careful. And it looks like Dobbs is going to get by Maines and pass him for the lead, but here comes Garrett Maines. He's not done. He's going to dip to the inside and say, I'll try to take that spot back.
Maines with a nice crossover there of his own. We saw Dobbs do that to him a couple of laps ago. We saw Michael get up close to the wall in the 87, which that was what caused him to lose his ground and lose his momentum, and it's taken him about a lap to get back going. Meanwhile, behind them, Navarro and Critchley have hooked up, and they're trying to get up to the front. It's Michael's turn to go 3 wide for the lead on the bottom as they come across the line. Dobbs led the lap, but Justin Michael wants the lead back once again, as Dobbs is going to lose his momentum on the outside. Michael's going to clear, and Maines with a crossover on him now.
Yeah, I haven't kept track of it, but there has been a lot of lead changes here, and most of them under green flag racing conditions, as we're going to be coming up on 25 laps to go here very shortly, as we are 26 to go this time by. Maines out front, Navarro, Michael, Dobbs, Critchley, and I believe that's Wilson in there. Look at this, 6 cars right now, and you could throw a blanket over them before you have to go to Jason Maines, who's leading this next this little group, but this front group has pulled away from the main pack, and they are 2 by 2 by 2, just barreling down the backstretch right now.
The driver I'm keeping my eye on is Bradley Wilson in the 51, simply because we haven't mentioned him a whole lot, and here he is making his appearance at the end. That's him on the outside of Critchley in the 27. There's the 51 of Wilson. We haven't really mentioned him a whole lot. We don't really know what he's got up his sleeve because he's been playing the waiting game. He's been playing the chess game, and here he is late in the stages, making his way up to the front as we look at maybe going 3 wide for the lead again. This time Baines on the inside, but Dobbs up the middle, gonna try to get the nose in front through turns 1 and 2. Here comes Navarro inside of Michael. Wilson has cleared Critchley, going after Navarro. Bradley Wilson, the 51, he has decided it's go time here in this one as Maines accelerates down into turn number 3. Dobbs there on the outside. Caution is out.
Caution is out, and it is gonna be back in this field. It's gonna be Darren Haldeman going to be in this in the 99 machine. So take a quick look at the replay here and see exactly what happened.
Look at the swag replay.
Oh,
up there. Oh.
A hook, and it
He almost saved it.
He almost did, and then it just came unglued right after.
A couple more drivers getting involved. Saw Brian Chu get a piece of it there for 18 interstate batteries. Toyota. Take one more look at it. Stock right up there in front of him. Hallman trying to draft. That's the 13 who was leading this race on one of those restarts not too long ago.
And there's a slight
right
tap.
There. And he almost saves it, bounces off the wall, and then gets him back on the rebound. Brian Chu nowhere to go as well. That 7 car. I'll break loose one. And so, well, Charles, we talked about it. Want to save a set of tires for the end. 20 laps to go when we go back green. Still too early for that set of tires?
You know, I think if I'm Garrett Maines, I'm taking tires right now. 24 going to be 23 at the line. If I'm Garrett Maines, Alan Dobbs, these guys, Navarro, Mitchell, Maines, I'm taking tires this stop. I think this is one of my 2 stops if I've got tires left. And there you go. All of them taking tires.
Yep, the right side's going up. Everyone taking tires. No, Dobbs fuel only. Navarro, right side tires only in the 2. Maines and Michael taking 4 tires. You see the rest of them going away. A lot of fuel only and maybe some right side tires. But wow. So different strategies once again. That's a risky one because I'm pretty sure I saw Navarro take 2 tires on that one. Pretty sure I saw the right side of that 2 car go up.
Yeah, this is going to be where it's real. This is the go time for interesting stuff because, I think this was the time to take tires. And if we get another caution with, say, 10 laps to go, I'm taking tires. And the reason I say that is because based on how this race has gone so far, I'm going to expect to see another caution. And in that time, I'm not coming down. You get less than 10 laps to go, you do not want to come down pit road, I don't think. At that point, track position is more important than tires. If I'm taking tires this time like Garrett Maines did, and if we get another caution here in the next 10 laps, I'm coming down, taking my last set of tires, and I'm going to run this thing to the end.
We're going to run it to the end as well. We're going to take a quick break here to thank a couple of the guys that help us pay the bills here on LSRTV. When we come back, we will take you to the finish. You're watching Straight Cash Money. It's going to be a quick one. You're watching Straight Cash Money here on LSRTV.
ETE Reman is the world's best remanufacturer of transmissions for import and domestic cars and trucks. Based in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, our customers are repair shops, auto parts stores, dealerships, and distributors. And with 6 nationwide warehouses, we're where and when you need us. So when you're looking for a transmission that is like new, only better, instill confidence and install ETE Reman.
Lights are out on the Ford Mustang, which means shootout time here on LSRTV. You see it right there. 22 to go. Going to be 21 to go when we take the green flag. Alan Dobbs, fuel only on that pit stop. Andrew Navarro, looking back upon review, was only fuel only in that 2 car. Then Bradley Wilson and Rusty Modesty, kind of an up and down night for that number 6 car up there in 4th. Here he is trying to play a role in how this one ends. Justin Winter and Kieran Church. We haven't talked about Church at all here tonight. Another driver, Charles, who we're used to seeing on LSR TV. End of the race, here he is on the strategy call getting up to the front.
Yeah, strategy has played a big key in this one. I was hoping to see it more green flag strategy, but, whether this race is green or yellow, one thing is sure is some people are going to be walking away with some green, regardless of how many cautions we have. But the green flag is back out once again, and we're already 3 wide and going on for 4th position. But a side-by-side battle as, again, a driver we didn't talk about a whole lot. That is the 51 of Wilson right there in the mix, as well as that 6 car on screen, 54 of Modesty. He's in this mix now as well. He was involved in a caution earlier, but has rebounded very well.
Yeah, that's the thing with the fast repairs that allows drivers to rebound here very nicely. Look at Garrett Maitons using those fresh tires once again to his advantage as he goes 3 wide on Wilson and Modesty. Now going after Dobbs and Navarro, who's been his biggest problems here today. These have been the 3 fastest cars in town so far here this afternoon. Dobbs, Navarro, and Baines. Look at Justin Michael trying to creep up as well. He has had his turn up front. 3 wide once again for the race lead is Garrett Maines with a run down to the inside of Alan Dobbs. Justin Michael there lurking. He is able to clear for 4th as they go single file through 3 and 4. Maines back to the lead, but Dobbs lurking. Dobbs still has a set of tires left on pit road for a final charge if they can get it. 70 laps on the board.
Yeah, 70 laps, 19 to go now as this battle is really starting to heat up. Again, look at the battle here. They're 3, almost 4 wide back here for 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th place. They are 4 wide going down the backstretch. You got to wonder, Greg, is this going to work out going into turn 3?
We're 3 wide for the race lead once again going into turn 3. Justin Michael with a charge, and there's contact in the back. We have Bradley Wilson and Modesty get together. He saves it. We stay green, but that could have been a disaster. Modesty and Wilson, their nights may be done if they can't catch another caution and get some of that damage repaired, because now they're deep in the field. And with how important the aero is at this racetrack, the aerodynamics, that could be a disaster for them as they try to sort things out. Working lap number 71. Justin Michael led the lap. Garrett Maines battling on the outside. We thought it was going to come down to these 2 at Talladega last week. Alan Dobbs thinking 3 wide on the outside. Curtis Critchley and Andrew Navarro entered the chat once again.
Yeah, this battle for the lead is just heating up. And to be honest, I'm not, I said Garrett Maines had this one. Garrett Maines has been a consistent factor up front all race. However, like you said, Dobbs, Michael, Critchley, Navarro, Tucker now, these guys in there. Now you've got Winter getting in the mix as well. So, you've had one consistent guy who's been up there, but you've also had other drivers that have given him a run for his money all race long, and it's changed up quite a bit. So, I can't for certainty say that, well, there you go. I thought Maines had a good chance, but that may change now as the caution back out for the 71 of Zach Adams.
Adams had a tough one at the end of Talladega, and here it is once again striking, taking a look at the swag replay. And some connection issues on the 71 as well. I think that may have played a role in this. As you see 3 big blinks. Ooh, Mata going loose in front of him, and nowhere for the 71 to go.
Oh, and again, the 23 just pounding another car after the caution was already out, as that is Joseph Allen in the 23 machine, and he has definitely got some engine problems, so he's gonna have to bring that car down to pit road, and I'm not sure if that 23 has a fast repair anymore.
No, I think he already had to use it earlier in the day, so I think think this may be the end of Joseph Allen's day in the number 23. But Charles, remember what you mentioned earlier to me as far as your strategy? You wanted to save a set of tires for about 15 laps to go. We're sitting at 15 laps to go when we take or cross the line this time.
Yeah,
Does anyone pit here? Top three staying out.
That is a shocker to me. I figured they would come down. Again, and this is all based on strategy that, I did my napkin math and figured out. But one thing that these drivers have to figure out that we don't have to, we have the luxury of being able to sit in the booth and not really do this, is their math has to be a little bit more accurate than ours. And what they're having to do right now is figure out, and these top three decided, there's going to be another caution probably within the next 5 to 7 laps, I would imagine, based on how it's gone. That's when I think these guys may come in. They may not come in at all, but if they do, I have a feeling they're banking on one more caution, and that's going to be their money stop.
Alan Dobbs wins the race off pit road into number 22. It's 4 tires and fuel on the number 22. Justin Michael leading the way in the 87. Garrett Maines second. Curtis Critchley third. Rhett Tucker. Haven't mentioned Ronald White a whole lot in the 17. He was another one who had a good run going at Talladega, but got caught up in incidents late, which relegated him deep in the field. He's having issues now in the number 17, and that's a big blink. He may have just fallen out of the server in that number 17 car. We are just going to talk about him, and Ronald White may have just fallen out of the server with big connection issues.
I believe he has. He's falling like a rock through the standings right now, 27th place, and has no longer being shown in dark white on our scoring, which indicates that he has indeed disconnected from the server. Unfortunately, been disconnected by his internet connection. So rough way to go, especially when you're not having a horrible day, you're having a decent day, and you're 15 to go. I'll make it 14. It'll be 13 when we take the green, and you lose it out right there. That's one of the worst ways to go here on iRacing.
Boy, there is commentator's curse when you talk about the guy and that jinxes him. Then there's the commentator's curse when you're talking about the guy and something happens. Wow, that's a new level of commentator's curse right there. So Michael leading here on this restart, going to be 13 laps to go when we take the green flag. It's Michael, Maines, Critchley, your top 5. Keep your eye on Critchley. Hasn't led a lap yet today, but has been up at the front for most of it. So he is going to be a threat in this one at the end for sure. Rhett Tucker in the number 99. Hunter Parsons back up in the mix as well in the 0. Keep an eye on him to be up there by the end of this one. Sanford, Polini. Brian Chu has found his way in the top 10 on a late race restart for the second straight week in that Interstate Batteries Toyota. So keep an eye on him as well. Pete Polini, all kinds of drivers up here at the mix and different strategies on board. The first car on fresh tires is Alan Dobbs in 15th position. Charles, watch out.
Yeah, and we're checking in on chat as the green flag about to come out, and we've had several cautions here, but I think Aunt Kathy may be exaggerating by just a little bit. As she said, we're on caution. I'm not even sure how many. It's like 16,000 or something like that. Or
16,467,844.
So that is a lot of cautions. It may be slightly exaggerated. We have had a few, and I expect to see at least one more as the green flag is back out once again. And right now it's still Justin Michael and Garrett Maines battling for the lead. But again, like you mentioned, Critchley, Tucker, Sanford, do not count these guys out. They are still in this hunt. And look who else is up there. Hunter Parsons in that 0P machine.
He had to take the fast repair earlier in this one as they crossed the line. 12 laps to go. Justin Michael led the lap by 9 1/1000ths of a second over Garrett Maines. Rhett Tucker trying to get up there and take a peek as well. On the inside is Curtis Critchley. Sanford there in the bottom. Trying to lurk up, now go high on Critchley to try to get a run. The outside lane seems to be where you want to be, at least on the backstretch, but right there in corner entry is where the inside lane comes in, as you see there with Michael. Look at Pipolini with a big charge there on the inside. He's going to break up into 6th position now, try to fend off Hunter Parsons. Navarro on those 4 fresh tires. He has worked his way up. Something may not have worked out for Alan Dobbs. He is mired back there with Derek Fulton right now in 10th position, where Navarro was able to get around him, and he is slicing and dicing through the field. Andrew Navarro is the fastest car on the racetrack right now. He's up into the top 5, trying to get a run on the inside of Curtis Critchley, with help from Sanford in the 5th as Maines tries to poke a nose in front of Michael. Closing stages coming to 10 laps to go, and Andrew Navarro going to go 3 wide for 3rd, and they make contact.
And a little bit more contact, but they keep it going. We stay green. That is definitely going to hurt Critchley in the 27. You know, now that we're 10 laps to go, I think this is do or die time. I think if you took tires, you're golden right now, as some of these guys did, but I don't think anybody will come down after this, because at this point, the caution would take 3 or 4 laps, and we would go down to a very short shootout. It wouldn't be a green, white, checkered, but if you took tires or not took tires, I think you're pretty much set. These guys were expecting a caution before now. I think that didn't come down that last time, or they're just out of tires. Either way, they are stuck now, I think, with what they have.
Well, Alan Dobbs has made his way back up to the front. So I think this one is going to be a matter of, can the fresh tires of Navarro and Dobbs and company get around these two in front of him, Garrett Maines and Justin Michael. Navarro lined up behind Maines. $50 on the line to the winner of this race. Look at Navarro, 3 wide up the middle. He's going to have some help from Dobbs as well. No, Dobbs kind of pushed up there in the dirty air just a little bit, which was just enough for Maines to slide up in front of Navarro. But there's the crossover we were waiting for from Navarro. Andrew Navarro going to take the lead away from Garrett Maines as they drag race down the backstretch. Maines trying to side draft for all it's worth in the 29, but Navarro leads the lap, and it looks like Dobbs is with him now. They're hooked up there with the 2 fresh tires as they continue. Navarro clears and brings Dobbs with him.
Yeah, and the 99 of Rhett Tucker getting into this. And on that last lap, there was almost a little contact between the 99 and the 29 of Rhett Tucker and Garrett Maines. But Navarro gave a shot to the back bumper of that 29, and that kind of pushed him up the track a little bit and got him out of his groove as we come to 7 laps to go. Does Garrett Maines have what it takes to get back by? Meanwhile, behind them, they're going 4 and 5 wide for a top 10 position.
Oh, this is a hornet's nest back here. Rhett Tucker, Michael Anthony, Derek Fulton, Christian Sanford, Curtis Critchley back there. Hunter Parsons, you got a hornet's nest of drivers back there. Maines has gotten around Michael for 3rd, but man, I think those fresh tires are just going to be too much to overcome for the number 29 as Dobbs to the outside of Navarro. Although, if they continue doing this, this is going to allow Maines and Michael to stick with them and try to steal it here. And I think they know that. I think Dobbs and Navarro, they want to get hooked up here, get a little bit of a gap between themselves and the guys on the older tires so they can settle it between them. Navarro continues to lead. Dobbs 2nd. Coming up, going to be 5 laps to go next time by. Maines sticking with them, trying to draft for all it's worth in that number 29, but Dobbs and Navarro have the fresher tires, and they are side by side for the lead down the backstretch.
Yeah, they definitely are side by side, and it makes you wonder now if Garrett Maines was out of tires or if he was banking on another caution. And keep in mind, as we're coming to the line, if a caution was to come out as of right now, 5 laps to go, it would send us into green, white, checker territory, into overtime for the first time. So we'll see if that is a factor in tonight's this morning's race. Afternoon now, it's 12:30 Central Time. Still early morning for you, but that battle's still heating up, and there's still other battles going on. But unfortunately, Maines, I think those old tires, like you said, just not working out for him right now, as the 2 fresh tires are out front.
Make it 3. Michael Anthony got around Maines as well on fresh tires. Here comes Justin Winters in the 52, trying to crack the top 5 on another Justin Michael. So now 3 drivers on fresh tires have made their way up here onto the top 3, and 5 laps to go. Make it 4 to go now. I think this one's going to be between these 3 here on the fresh tires, unless Justin Winters can get up around Maines and Michael and make it a 4-car battle. But I think we've got ourselves our battle for the win, and it's right here: Navarro, Dobbs, and Anthony.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if Michael Anthony can do anything in that 8 machine. Navarro takes the lead from Dobbs. I really think, like you said, though, it's going to be one of these 3. Then again, we could see these 3, make contact, and it be somebody further back like Maines or Michael or Justin Winters in there as well. So these guys have got to keep it clean. There's only 3 to go, 2 to go when we come to the line. Again, it's all about keeping it clean, and you can see Navarro dipping down, trying to break that draft right now.
Caution!
That is not what these guys wanted to see, and it's for Derek Fulton in the 7. And definitely not what Navarro wanted to see. That is his teammates bringing out the caution. So we'll take a look and see exactly what happened. And the 27, his own teammate, gave him a shot.
And Fulton tried, and got the wall, and I believe, he gets another hit and another hit. So Fulton gets it a couple of times there. I think Fulton already had some damage on the right rear of that number 7 car before this caution came out. I know he did it earlier, and I hadn't seen him take fast repair since then, so I believe he may have already had some damage. Yeah, you can see it right there on the right rear. The car already had some damage, so I think it just wasn't handling as well in the corner there. Critchley just gets in the back of him, and Fulton has to fight it, hits the wall, thinks he's got it, and then right there's where the big hit was.
And again, keep in mind, those are teammates making contact with each other. So again, this is where it gets really interesting. I don't think anybody's coming down. This is green-white checkered already, as we were on 2 to go, so it's 3 to go, which means we are officially into overtime, and I have a feeling Navarro's going to fake this out, and he's not even going to attempt to fake it, as everybody trying to play mind games with each other, but we knew they weren't coming down.
So this is it. The bed is set. Navarro leading, Dobbs second. Couple drivers on pit road. Brian Chu, one of them, just getting some fast repair, some damage repaired, getting a little extra fuel for the finish. But most of these guys at the back, they're just trying to throw a Hail Mary here at the end with the 4 fresh tires and see how much ground they can gain at the end. But this one is going to be between Navarro, Dobbs, Anthony, Maines, and Michael, your top 5. Winters, Wilson, Church, Miller, and Critchley, your top 10. Here's my question here, Charles. Has that new factor worn off on those tires for Navarro, Dobbs, and Anthony?
I'm wondering to myself. I think the newness has worn off those tires. However, they're still new compared to Maines. Maine has 22 laps on his tires compared to 14 for your leader, Andrew Navarro. So, yes, I think the newness has worn off, but have they reached that point to where you have new tires that are like super grippy, super fast? And yes, they're still newer than 22, but have they reached that point to where they plateau and they're essentially even? I don't know if that point has been reached yet. I still think those newer tires are going to be just a little bit better than Garrett Main's 22-lap tires.
Curtis Critchley has been given an EOL penalty in the number 27 by race control, so he's going to fall to the back. That's going to end his night in the number 27 on this first of 3 attempts at a green-white checkered. Now, the way this works here, if you're new to iRacing or racing in general, we're going to take the green flag with 2 laps to go. If a caution comes out before they get back to the line to take the white flag, we will do it again. If they if they do it on the second try and it happens again, they have a caution come out before they get back to the line, then we go to a 3rd and final attempt, which will end the race for sure. If they get to the line before the caution comes out, they take the white flag, the race is over right there. If they get to the third attempt, the next flag ends the race.
Yeah, it's going to be a very interesting restart here. Everyone's going to have to mind their P's and Q's and be on eggshells, but you know, you're on older tires, so you've got to be on eggshells to start, but at the same time, you can't be so fragile with the car that everyone else gets a good jump on you. You've got to find that line between hammer down and throttle control and get a good start and get out front, because you're going to need it with a hungry pack coming behind you, especially if you're Andrew Navarro right now.
So this is going to be a wild finish. First of three, green-white checkered attempts. Navarro and Dobbs, your front row, were the strongest cars on that last run. Green flag is out. Andrew Navarro knows he's got to get away as quick as he can. He is going in that number 2 as Michael Anthony to the inside of Dobbs for second.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. Again, 2 laps to go. It's a green, white, and checkered as Navarro out front. Michael Anthony, again, a good run for him. And look at Garrett Maines basically pushing the 8
Caution
to it.
Caution,
and
we're going to do it again. We're going to do it again.
And a few cars involved in this one, the 16 and the 82. The 23 narrowly missing it again as he comes through the field.
He got through.
He got through this time. Not so lucky the first 2 times with the caution back out. And here's the hornet's nest that this all started around.
See the battle going on right there. One car slow on the track. That's the 18. He had a lot of damage. Ooh, some contact between the 28. Was that the 46?
Of Michael Adamson.
They get hit. Brian Chu took a big hit there in the 18. Wow.
And there's a 23. He's in 23 again, making it through this time. But, man, just another caution to add to the list here. If you're Andrew Navarro, excuse me, this is really frustrating if you're Andrew Navarro right now, because, you know, this is just extra laps that you didn't need, and it's going to make those tires heat cycled one more time, which is going to add more wear to them, which gives Garrett Maines that much more of a shot. And keep in mind, Garrett Maines sitting in 3rd place. He will be on the inside of row number 2. That is going to put him in a very good position to get by, the leader here of Navarro.
So Navarro going to be in control once again here on this restart, but a new challenger with him, with Michael Anthony. But here's the big one for this restart, Cody or Charles. Look who's in 3rd, aka look who's lining up behind Navarro. Garrett Maines in 9 is going to be hooked with Navarro. Remember, it was Navarro that pushed Maines to the victory at Talladega last week. Does Maines return the favor and get up alongside or on the back bumper of Navarro?
$50, Greg. That's all. $50. You know, yeah, that's a tough choice. Do you return the favor, a good favor in this case? Do you return it and help the guy, or do you go for the $50? You know, if it's me, I'm not necessarily going. I'm not going to wreck him for the $50. You know, if I know that he is in a better spot than me, I'll probably help him. But at the same time, you know, $50 is $50. That is a lot of McDonald's cheeseburgers.
Yeah, that is about 50 of them, depending on where you are. If you live in Oregon, that's exactly 50 of them, because they don't have sales tax down there. If it says $1, it's $1. So, yeah. I would be trying to get myself a couple of Oregon drivers entered in this race and say, hey, you know, send the cheeseburgers my way.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, it's going to be a toss-up here, and it's showing now Garrett Maines in 4th. So, if that's the case, then that will be putting him on the outside row, and that would put Alan Dobbs on the inside row. So, be interesting to see where they officially line up, but it was showing Garrett Maines in 3rd at one point, now 4th. So that's a big difference too, Greg, to be starting on the inside or the outside.
Yeah, if I'm Navarro, I know what I'm getting with Garrett Maines. lining up behind him. I'm going to say Navarro starts on the inside here, and it looks like that is what he's going to do. Michael will be hooked up with Dobbs, but here is the caveat to that. Maines is on older tires than Dobbs, so yes, Navarro knows what he's getting by hooking up with Garrett Maines here, but he doesn't have as fresh tires as Navarro, who's going to be, or as Dobbs, excuse me, who's going to be able to give a bigger push on the start to Michael Anthony.
Yeah, again, tires have been really the key here with only 3 sets, 3 laps to go. Again, so many different things could happen. So many things could go wrong on this restart. Again, this is where you have to be, you're perfect here. You can't make any mistakes. And, the question is, who's going to make a mistake? Because the slightest one can cost you the win. Navarro is going to have to get in that throttle smooth, don't spin the tires, and if he does that, and that 22 and the 8 can't link up as good as they need to, I think he's got the win. If the 22 and the 8 don't link up very good and quickly, I think the 29 may have something for the 2 of Navarro. It's really just a matter of trying to figure out and wait at this point.
All right, here we go. Second attempt at a green-white checkered. Remember, we have 1 left as the green flag falls. They have to get back to the line again. And Navarro saying, you know what, I'm not even going to worry about that. I'm going to give myself a big enough advantage that I don't have to worry about Anthony and Navarro and Dobbs and company getting together. I just want to get up front and go on defense for the rest of the way. Looks like it worked out for Maines, though, as he's going to be able to get around Anthony on the inside, but here they come down the backstretch, heading for the finish line. They're going to take the white flag if they get back, and Maines is hooked up with Justin Michael and Andrew Navarro leading the way. Dobbs goes down to the bottom off of turn number 4. If they get the white flag, this race is official.
Possibly coming out.
Nope, still green. Oh, we just missed it. We just missed it.
And there is it. It's going to be Jason Maines. We'll go back and take a look at the replay. I saw the car turn sideways. It was just a matter of the flagman getting the flag out of his hand and waving it, or in his hand and waving it. And right there, just a shot to the 50. Very interesting.
And Polini kind of pushed up the track in that dirty air that we talked about earlier with Critchley having that happen to him. So Polini just kind of pushed up the track there, got caught up in dirty air, and it lost the nose of the 77. And unfortunately, Maines was just right there. Watch what happens here.
Now watch Maines in the 50 here. Look at it, like that was just a shot in the like that was a direct shot. We'll never see.
It was contact between Polini and Parsons that happened there.
Yeah,
that's what happened to the 77.
I'm still interested in watching this one. As I want to go to the steering wheel view and watch the steering wheel here of Jason Maines, and as he goes in, he's going into the corner. Does he lift?
Right there, you can see him lift just a little bit. It's those yellow lines on the dashboard. That's throttle control, and you saw him lift just a little bit there before the contact.
Yeah, very interesting there. And you have to, I'm the type I gotta ask those tough questions. We're coming down to it. They have another attempt at a green-white checkered, correct?
Yes.
They have another attempt at a green-white checkered. Garrett Maines sitting out close to the front in second place, which would put him on showing him. I don't see where Garrett Maines is, but Garrett
Maines was up in second, but he's back in ninth. So he came down pit road, Charles. He may have been having some fuel issues. He had to come down pit road in the 29. A heartbreak for Garrett Maines.
No, very interesting move there. He's going to be...
I think he was out of fuel. Remember, he hadn't pitted since just prior to halfway or just past halfway. I think he was out of fuel. I think he needed that race to go green for about another 5 seconds so he could get back to the line. Garrett Maines did not have enough fuel in the tank for a 3 green-white checkered attempt race because the 50% fuel capacity, and that's going to end it for Garrett Maines. So now, Navarro, Anthony, Michael, your top three.
Yeah, definitely some strategy possibly being played there. We'll leave it at that. But Navarro is out front right now, followed by Anthony, Dobbs, Wilson, and Church. Going to be your top five drivers. Is again unfortunate for Maines, but he is all the way back, being scored in 21st place now.
So here we go. Final attempt at a green-white checkered. Navarro leading the way, has been the strongest car these last 15 or so laps. Hooked up with Alan Dobbs, who was a very, very strong car in the middle stages of this race. What's going to happen on this one here, Charles?
Yeah, based on the last two, we've seen cautions. Let's hope that is not the case again this time. But I'm not counting anything else. And I believe this is you said this is the third and final attempt at a green-white checkered, correct?
Yes, third and final attempt.
So, regardless of what happens, one way or another, this race is coming to an end, whether it is under the yellow or the white flag going to the checkered. One way or another, we're seeing the winner of this race crowned.
Yeah, we are going to see it here on this third and final attempt. As we come around, green flag in the air, Navarro again with the start. As Michael Anthony falls in behind. Dobbs and Wilson side by side for third. Justin Michael also had the pit. He was also out of fuel on that same strategy as Garrett Maines. It bit him this time. Here comes a run by Michael Anthony on the outside. Navarro on defense. Here comes Alan Dobbs. Michael throws a block. Dobbs with a crossover. Navarro loves seeing it in his mirrors to go off into turn 3. Justin Winter trying to charge up through the field as well. Dobbs and Michael get together. Bradley Wilson lurking there. Coming around, they're going to see the white flag, and we will finally, 10 laps later, see the CRN 1 to go as Michael Anthony with a run on the outside.
Yeah, the CRN 1 lap to go. Again, it's been a long time coming in contact between the top two. And that is going to eliminate Navarro as the winner here. And that
no caution yet.
No caution
stay
yet.
Green.
And it looks like it's going to be Wilson.
Bradley Wilson's going to pull away. Kieran Church going to give it one final shot. Discussions on the team radio at the end, but coming to a checkered flag, $50. Here comes Bradley Wilson, the 51, steals it at Michigan.
What a win for him. As, of course, we've got to go back and look here real quick. We're going to try to see if we can get back far enough to look at this replay to figure out what exactly happened. And here you go. We'll watch this again involving your front runners, Navarro.
This was coming to the white flag. This was the lap before. See right here, Dobbs gets a run, and there's the contact we initially talked about that we thought may have eliminated Dobbs from contention, but he saved it. Now, watch Bradley Wilson get a run on the outside here. This was key because he was able to squeeze through. Navarro takes the white flag. Now watch what happens here going off into turn number 1. Right there's the contact.
Oh.
They both spin. Wilson squeaks through, and it's just enough to hold on.
And barely squeaking through, he did, as he's going to burn it down. Here's he's going to get $50 richer, and that's going to allow Church and Fulton to finish in the top 3. I know we at least have Derek Fulton to talk to. Hopefully, we did pass along the TeamSpeak information. Hopefully, we'll have those top 3 here momentarily. But a good race overall, and a wild finish to add to it, Greg.
Unbelievable. And Bradley Wilson for Team CGR Racing gets it done, and he's burning it down with his teammates Derek Fulton and Kieran Church. But what a wild one here to start off a Sunday morning. Let's take a look at the unofficial race results presented by Sawblade.com. And Bradley Wilson led one lap here tonight, but it was the most important one, the last one. He holds off Kieran Church by 0.2 of a second. Derek Fulton, what about that? Derek Fulton recovers to finish third. It is a 1-2-3 for Team CGR. Unbelievable here at the end of this one. Alan Dobbs, very strong car, comes home fourth. Curtis Critchley recovers for fifth after the EOL penalty on the first green-white checkered of this one. J.R. Miller, Garrett Maines fought back to seventh with the incident. Justin Winters, Chris Cinnamon, and John Elliott, your top 10.
And 11th through 20th going to be Justin, Michael, Clint Mata, Rusty Modesty, Jason Maines after an incident on the track there. Hunter Parsons, Ryan Jablowski again. Well, get it for pronunciation. I'm sure we butchered that one, or at least I did. Dell Adamson in 17th. Travis Paul, Rob Green, and Christian Sanford, your top 20.
Coming home in 21st was Gary Jazorski in the number 18. Taylor Peacock, Rhett Tucker, Andrew Navarro, one lap down after leading at the white flag. Heartbreak for Navarro. Michael Anthony also. Joseph Allen, Pete Pellini, William Scott, Brian Chu, and Darren Hallman, your top 30.
Yeah, no, this list keeps going, followed by Mike Adamson in 31st place, 8 laps down, followed by Ed Osborne, John Ernest, who was involved in that early incident, Ronald White, who we heard later on had a power surge that took him out of this race, 26 laps down, followed by Zach Adams, Jeff Snyder, Ryan Twinneman. Unfortunate for him, had a decent car, just unfortunately didn't finish where he was up in the front early on after not making a pit stop, and gained a lot of track position. And of course, Stephen Gregory, your race admin here tonight. Greg, only one more piece of business to take care of.
Yeah, we got to thank a couple more sponsors, and then we're going to talk to a very excited top 3 here on this one. It was a wild finish at Michigan, and no doubt our top 3 are going to have a lot of stories to tell us. We will be right back here in Gatorade Victory Lane.
We're based out of West Monroe, Louisiana. We do custom t-shirts, racing. We'll do any shirt. We'll do schools, churches, fundraisers. We do a ton of event shirts, as you can see on our board here, all around our banner. Personalized, I mean, we do anything. It doesn't matter to us. We got the custom rugs. We use all the, top quality shirts, inks and everything. Hoodies, hats. We do embroidered hats, embroidered shirts. Just you can call us for anything. We do offer the bag and fold to where you can receive them and they're already labeled and tagged and bagged, ready to give out to your customers and stuff. So you just call us and just tell us, hey, this is what we're looking at doing, and if we're going to put the car on there, it is 125 quantity minimum. If it's without the car, it's 60 quantity minimum. That's strictly on the racing stuff. If it's a business or something, if you race on Texas shirts, it's a little bit differently. You can call us. It just depends on your quantity and ink color. Everything is hand drawn. I mean, everything. We don't Photoshop anything onto a shirt or anything like that. Everything that we go through, everything is drawn, and which is the reason for the art fees. We do have several graphic artists that draw for us, and they're really good. So what we do is on any package that you do, we can mix and match. We can do any colors. You can do purple, red, blue, green, and do the rest black. It doesn't matter to us. With your design on there, we can do hoodies. We can do hoodies, long sleeve shirts, t-shirts, tank tops. It doesn't matter. I mean, it's almost limitless what you can do, and you can put all that together in that package to make that minimum requirements. They can call us 318-278-7191, or they can email us at bulletprooftees@yahoo.com, or they can go to the website bulletprooftees.com.
Welcome back to Michigan International Speedway. A wild finish, and at the end, it's a 1-2-3 for CGR. Unbelievable finish here in this one here at Michigan after a dominating performance by Garrett Maines and Andrew Navarro. It all works out, though, for Bradley Wilson in the number 51. We'll talk to him in just a moment, but we're going to talk to a guy who had a very, very up and down day, had a lot of damage on his car, rallies for third. We're talking about the Canadian Derek Fulton. Derek, third place. What a performance at the end there. How did you get up to third at the end there?
I saved a set of tires there and quick repair till the end. I knew it was going to get a little hairy. I was pretty interested to race through, up, like you said, up and down the whole time. So I just I knew that was probably my only move to make at that point. So started, I think, with 26th with the first green white checkered, so we got up there through the field in those just last couple segments, so it was pretty crazy. But I definitely feel bad for the guys that were out front and had that thing won, guys like Garrett and Andrew, and Andrew was still there at the end even with the last green white checkered, and still didn't work out for him, but at least we were able to pick up the spot on the podium. So.
And Derek, you mentioned right there that you saved the fast repair for the end of the race, and it worked out for you. But how frustrating was it having to drive a majority of that race with damage? Because we noticed that damage right around the halfway point, and we thought that you had already used the fast repair, so we thought it was there for the end. We didn't realize that you still had the fast repair in the bank. So how frustrating is it to have to run that entire race with damage, knowing that you've got to save it and set up for something like that at the end?
It's definitely frustrating. It handled okay first couple laps on tires, but then as soon as the tires started to wear down, it would just push straight up to the wall, and so that definitely made it a little bit interesting. I knew I had speed on the longer runs to be up there with those guys. Proved it there on that one run when we got up to second and third, just ended up getting beat off on the tire cycle there. So, but that was just the way it was tonight. Everybody was on different pages, and it was just kind of a luck of the draw to see where yours ended up. And if it wasn't for the fact that we had that third green white checkered, or even the second one, I would have been looking at like a 20th place finish. So it's you never know how these things are going to play out, but you just got to stick it out and never give up, because you never know what's going to happen.
Well, Derek, you get a third here today. That's $30 of straight cash money coming your way. Next week, the series shifts gears. We thought this was going to be a truck race. Turns out the truck race is actually next week at Daytona. Trucks at Daytona. You love that combination. You love both trucks and you love Daytona. To get them combined, do you like your shots next week?
Yeah, definitely. I couldn't tell you how many white flags I've collected there. I don't know if I've collected a checkered, though. So it's one of those things that you got to be at the right place at the right time. But, I'll be going for that checkered flag next weekend, not just the white one. So.
Well, Derek, it was really an up and down race for you, but you get a third, and we're going to hear the same group of sponsors a lot because it's a 1-2-3 for your team. But thank your sponsors.
Yeah, I'd like to thank Phantom, CGE, Dan Gallant, everything they're doing right now, Curtis Critchley and those guys at the Fab Shop, the virtual shop. Shanadu Shine for sticking with me here, and a couple other guys that I know I'm forgetting, but I definitely want to make a shout out to my grandpa. I know he's watching here today, so I just want to say, hey, Grandpa.
Third place, Derek Fulton, $30 cash. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir.
Moving over to second place, Kiernan Church. And Kiernan, a very quiet night for you. Ran right around 15th or so for much of the race. But then, much like Derek, at the end with all these green-white checkers, you just charged to the front. So tell us about that charge up through the field late.
Yeah, when Andrew pitted, I went ahead and pitted there and got 4 tires, and I was kind of just trying to slowly maneuver through the field because I knew we had 10 laps, but it was kind of hard to make passes here. You would just get that run on the bottom, and they would just get that run back up top, so you just had to pick and choose when to pass. And unfortunately, Garrett and Justin, they ran out of fuel there with that last green-white checkered, so I picked up a few spots there and just kind of tried to run my own race and keep it clean so I can make some money.
Here Kieran, you mentioned running your own race right there. The patience that you showed throughout the race really paid off there at the end. I'm going to kind of ask you the same question I went with Derek there with the fast repair, though. Is it frustrating at all having to show that patience, knowing how this race is going, knowing you want to get up there and get yourself in a position for the win, but knowing that the way this race is going, it's probably not a smart idea yet? Is it frustrating kind of hanging back there, seeing all these cautions come out and seeing the laps click away under caution, knowing that's just taking away more and more time for you to make your charge at the end?
Yes and no. I mean, I didn't mind seeing the caution sometimes. It worked in my favor some of the times, but it is what it is with this kind of track with as close racing as we were. The only damage I really had that whole race is I got on the front stretch and I got rear-ended, but I never took my fast repair, so I just ran it as it was and luckily had track position there at the end to make a run at it.
Well, Kieran, from the Irish Hills of Michigan to the high banks of Daytona with a new car. We're headed to the trucks next week at Daytona. I have to ask you the same thing I asked Derek. You like your shots there?
I never really have the best of luck at plate tracks. I mean, I usually run up front, but I usually get caught up in something no matter what car it is. But either way, I'm going to look forward to it and work with the teammates and get some more money and hopefully the championship at the end with one of us.
All right, well, Kieran, in second place here tonight. Thank your sponsors.
I want to thank Phantom GFX, CGE, Curtis, and Dan. Like Derek said, are doing a fantastic job with setups and great group of guys to run with there and be lucky to be part of it. I want to thank Pavement Marking LLC, Seven Seas Cruises, B-Leaf, and then Orange Shoes Photography.
Kieran Church, second place. Congratulations, $40. Moving down to Gatorade Victory Lane, Bradley Wilson led one lap all day long. It was the most important one, the last one. Tell us about getting through that incident at the end and picking up $50 cash for the win tonight.
I honestly didn't expect the a wreck to happen or to get first today. I thought we had a definitely top three car, maybe not the winning car, because Andrew Navarro was very, very strong today. And as soon as they wrecked, I was just hoping not to get into it, and my spotter, Lee Morgan, kind of told me to go up to the wall and try to dodge it, so that's really what made me win this race today.
Bradley, you were up there at the end in that mix when there was a 6-car breakaway coming down to the closing stages before the green-white checkers happened, and you were kind of doing the same thing as Kieran Church. You were kind of just hanging back there, lurking it out, letting it come to you, and then being there at the end. So tell us about when you decided it was go time there with about 15 or so to go on that one green flag run at the end there.
I really couldn't be too aggressive. I used my fast repair on lap 44 after an incident under caution. And around 12 to go, we took 4 tires, and I thought I'd burn them off trying to get back up to the front, but apparently I had a little bit of life left in them.
Well, Bradley, it was definitely a big win for you to get it done at Michigan. Next week, we head to Daytona with the trucks, an entirely different form of racing. You excited?
I'm looking forward to it, but my luck hasn't been the best there. But I have had some good races at Daytona and Talladega.
Bradley, $50 here for winning tonight in straight cash money at Michigan. Thank you, sponsors. Who got you here?
Shandoah Shine, Empire Jerky, CGE for bringing out great setups to me. Wilson Motorsports, my IRL team. Lee Morgan, again, my spotter, led me through the whole race. And my dad for buying me a wheel about a month ago because my last one broke, so he bought me a new Fanatec setup for this race.
Bradley Wilson, your winner here at Michigan, $50 cash. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, that wraps things up. I believe that Charles Wooten has rejoined us here in the press box. Had some other issues to take care of, but Charles, it was definitely a wild one here at Michigan. What was your final thoughts? And you excited for Daytona next week?
Yeah, definitely a wild one here at Michigan. we'll regroup. Hopefully, a few less cautions at Daytona, but then again, it is Daytona. Anything can and will happen there at the super speedway tracks. So it'll be interesting to see how it all plays out, but definitely looking forward to the trucks at Daytona. You can't go wrong with the super speedway race.
Definitely going to be a great one next Sunday morning here at LSRTV. Well, we're going to take a break because we got to get on a plane from Michigan. We got to hop over to Milwaukee, Wisconsin for tonight's Northwest Tour race at the Milwaukee Mile. A big car count expected. Drivers are already there getting unloaded and getting through tech and getting ready to go. We got time to get there, so we're going to head up, get on the virtual helicopter and fly over to Milwaukee. We'll see you there tonight, 7 p.m. Pacific time. The start of that one for Charles Wooten, who is manning the cameras and announcing the race with me. I'm Greg Rentz. Thanks for tuning in tonight. We'll see you from Milwaukee tonight and Daytona next week for more Straight Cash Money.
This broadcast is the copyrighted work of LSRTV and may not be rebroadcast, retranslated, or used in any form without the express written consent of 52 Media LLC and iRacing.com Motorsports Simulations. LSRTV would like to thank you for your support, and we hope you enjoy